Now, I'll get ready to do this. We're going to make this thing. And I just thought, well, let's check on something. Check on accuracy. Now, this is the little interlock broadhead, a little 85, and it's actually a pretty decent looking broadhead. It's small. You can replace the blades. It doesn't have a very high profile. People are paying a premium these days for the smaller sized looking broadheads because of the flight characteristics they're trying to get out of them, so that it's not doing the steering, and they want the fixed blade performance. Some states actually have a requirement that you have a cut-on contact or a fixed blade type of situation. This certainly has that. And the thing is, a fixed blade, something that doesn't move, is not going to give you trouble going in nor coming out. So let's check. Let's see. I don't know if I can get a zoom in on the scale a little bit better. I believe I can get it there. Let's see if we can see what we got. All right. So that says that is 85.4. Can you get that? All right. Now we have 100 grain muzzy here. If I can get that to show up. Well, let's put that on there. It's 100.3. And then I have a muzzy 4-blade 125. And it says it's 123.3, and I can unscrew you another one. It's going to be dead nuts right on that same range. These are very consistent as they run. Got my Bitzenberger set up here. For cleaning, there is a product that is recommended by the vane manufacturer, which I don't use. This is me. You try it. You don't like it. You do what the manufacturer says to do. That's fine. It's all up to you. But I have a product here I use for a solvent. This is 95% straight alcohol. You can't get any more clear than this, any more alcohol than this, without running like benzene or something in it to make it as a solvent, run that rest of that water out. This stuff evaporates real quick, and you also want to use this in a well opened environment, because actually alcohol flashes at a very low temperature, and you'll hear these biodiesel places burning up on a regular basis because they don't pay attention to what they're doing. A lot of them are using these open motor mixers, and they're just, it's almost natural selection is what it is, because you put an open motor around pure alcohol, it's not a question of if bad things are going to happen, but just are you going to be the one to burn up when it does. So alcohol is very quick, no residue type of stuff. Clean them, and I've got them to stick real well using Saunders glue. I'm not really endorsing Saunders, but I'm going to tell you, I date my stuff open 11/13/06. This tube is still good. I'm still gluing vanes on, and they hold fine. The manufacturer says, of the vane, says get an old t-shirt, or don't use cotton swabs or stuff like that because it might have chemicals in it. Well, if you take an old t-shirt that's been through the laundry and it's got softening agents, you know, in the dryer and in the detergent, well, I guarantee you there's going to be some chemicals in this. But in my pure grain alcohol, it's a pretty darn good solvent, and has been known to be mixed in with Sundrop in the South. These Sundrop in the days when Sundrop was still made the old-fashioned right way, where you have a little sediment in the bottom of the. Now see, look at it. I've already rubbed it, and it's dry. That little guy is already dry, because that's just how quickly pure grain alcohol will evaporate, and that stuff will burn blue. You can't see it. All right, I'm gonna get one of these 4.18 inch vanes. I'm gonna slide it down to the end, to the very end mark. And I tell you, this is something else to think about with the speed freaks out there who, quite honestly, think they got to have the fastest bow that's ever been made. And what we got to do is we got to have one of those 6-inch brace height type bows. You know, you start putting a short brace height on the bow, you don't necessarily have enough room to put, say, a 4.18 or a 4-inch vane on. Now, see that? It's already dried off. That's just how quick that grain alcohol is. We're going to get our old batch of Saunders glue out. And I'm going to try to get this somewhere, and I only will know when we're done whether or not this actually worked. But I'm going to try to just put just the smallest amount trailing in here, right in that groove. It's not a very deep groove or wide groove. And that's why I think these tend to be very labor intensive. I'll put that like that. While that sets, let me get one of these blazers and compare it. I don't know that I have a Duravane. I'll get one here in just a moment. But do you see the width of that? Compare that, the size of that pink to the orange. It doesn't seem to be that much wider, but it really is. When you go to put these things on there, you'll see the difference. So I'm going to do 2 orange and a blue, and I'm going to move these 2 other veins out of my way. And I've waited about long enough. I'm going to pinch so very, very delicately when I remove. Turn. I'm going to grab a blue, position it in the clamp. And, well, thank you for stopping by to see the show. I hope this helps you chase the bats and bugs out of your broadheads. We'll go ahead and take this clamp off. Get that out. Now there you go. Now it's using the Muzzy 4-blade 100 grain head. Now these are like $35 for 6 of them. Plus Muzzy always gives you the practice broadhead blades to go in there so you don't actually have to dull, dent, ding, bend your actual broadhead blades when you play with them. Now this is a 340 spine for 9.5 grains per. Same length as my other arrows. Okay. Now they're slightly larger, although this is a Slim Tech. The original 400 shafts I use in the Axis, 9 grains per inch. Those little puppies are 1764s, which is just slightly under, but the 340 grain shaft, or 340 deflection shaft, is the same size at 9/32. So they're the same exact size as this one, but in the Axis they're a little heavier. So being able to do that, getting an arrow that shoots, for me, the same as what I've been shooting. And you may ask, why would I want to do that? Well, about $35. The cost of these are about $56 for the bare shafts. Put the vanes on myself. That arrow is $12.50. Now you can afford to lose a little bit more of these than you can these little guys right here. And here's the deal. Which one's got more color showing at the end when it's run up and under the leaves and things on our little forest floor? That's why we're doing it. Plus, when you look at the degree, we're using the same fletching jig, and yet which one is going to give us more spin stability in the long run? Something that's got the 4.18 inch long vane. And that vane is slick, very, very slick. And that's what makes it a little bit hard to work with. Small foot, slick, and that's why they recommend you use the what do they call it, the cyanoacrylate or super glue type smelling crazy glue smelling glues on it, and they just kind of make your shafts. I'm using the Saunders glue. I'm jigging it with a Bitzenberger with a right hand helix for the shaft, for that thin blade, and I'm getting good results using a PGA prep. Now that's not one of their official recommendations, but I'm getting good results with it at the time of this video. Give me a few years, maybe I won't. But appreciate you stopping by. Good luck this year and next year as well.